Now, before we start adding more business pages, we're gonna see, let's say, if I go to the locator of this flight tab, and if I incorrect this locator, right? So if I run this test again, immediately we're gonna face an exception, that is no such element found exception. And let's run this. And see, it didn't find the flight tab, and we got an exception over here which says no such element, unable to locate this element. Right, maybe this could be an Ajax element which is taking time to load, right? So if you remember, in our previous model we have seen something called as implicit wait. So let's see how that implicit wait is implemented over here to handle Ajax based elements, right, or the elements which loads on runtime. So, what we need to do is how to implement the implicit wait over here. We're gonna do it with the help of one of the class called as Ajax element locator factory. So this is let's see how we're gonna implement it. Ajax element locator factory, and we're gonna say factory equal to new Ajax element locator factory. So we're going to create an object where we are actually defining our page of where we are actually initializing our elements. So we need to import this, and there's a constructor which accepts your search context is using the driver, and then there's a long argument we need to give 10 as in this will be 10 seconds, right? And this reference we're gonna give it over here, right? So Ajax element locator factory is basically a lazy load concept in page factory design pattern to identify web elements only when they are used in any operations, right? So what this will going to help whenever we are looking for an element, whenever that element is used in any operation, then only this wait will be applied. As in now, if I again go over here, I've given the wait as 10 seconds. And if I run this application now, this time it will not immediately error out. It will first try to find that particular element for 10 seconds, and then it will error out. And if the element is found within the 10 seconds, let's say within 1 or 2 seconds, it will actually going to work on that element. So let's see. So still the CSS is incorrect, and it won't click on the flight tab, but let us see whether the wait will be applied or not. See, the page is loaded, and if you go over here, see the code is still running, and it will gonna error out after 10 seconds, and we're gonna see what exception that we got an exception that says no such element exception, timed out after 10 seconds, unable to locate the element, right? No such element exception. So what we need to do, we were actually unable to locate the CSS selector. So if I fix this, if I again go over here to the locator and fix it and then run it, now this time it should work fine. So we need to make sure whenever we are initializing our page factory elements, we can make a use of this Ajax element locator factory class so that we need not to worry about any synchronization issues with our element. And this time it will click and will put, right? Now let's automate some more functionality on the website. As in, after navigating to the flights, we need to book a flight as well, right? So there should be a method inside the home page. After go to flights, I can uh, implement the functionality of booking a flight, where we need to implement from and to and departing, returning, and all these options, right? So what I can do, I'll first take the locator, I'll first inspect this element. and here the locator that we got is ID is flight origin. I can take the ID of this element. And locators for home page, we are storing it over here. So I'm just going to copy this and give this locator. This is origin. That is, I'll name this web element as from city, right? Then we have another element where we need to give the destination. So CSS will be this, and this will be to city, right? Then we need departing, right? So this is for departing. We'll say depart flight, and then we'll say return flight, right? Departing we've already given, and then flight to will be the destination. Oh, okay, so this is returning here. It's flight returning. Right, then we need another two elements where we need to give the adult value. For adults, this is for children, right? And this is the search one. So here the ID is search button, right? So with these IDs, it's very like comfortable to create CSS, right? Just by giving hash and ID, right? So we need to change this for adults. So I can name it as adult count, right? This should be child count, and this should be the search element, right? So these are all the elements of this flight booking functionality that we have seen on the home page, right? So I can comment out locators for flight booking, right? And then I'll go to my home page, and over here what I'll do, I'm gonna say home dot from city dot I'll be doing send keys, and in send keys I'm gonna say from, right? Similarly, home dot to city, first we need to enter from and to city, this we're gonna take from here. Then home dot depart flight, and we need to enter the depart date and the due date. So this will be depart, sorry, home dot depart flight dot send keys, and here we'll be giving departing. Just give me a moment. Right, and then I'll say home dot return flight, We have created for depart. Let's see, we have created for return as well. So this is departing and returning. I think we haven't created it. So I'll just copy it once more, and this will be return flight. Alright, so after departing, we need returning. So this is flight returning. Alright, so home dot return flight dot send keys, and I'll be saying returning. Right. So after returning, I need to say home dot adult count dot send keys, and I'm gonna say number of adults. Same way, home dot child count dot send keys, and I'll be sending number of children. And after this, I'll say home dot search dot click. Right, so these will be the locators, and how we're going to book the flight. So if I want to execute this, I can go over here and I can say home dot go to flight, and go to flight. After going to flight, I should actually gonna call the method book a flight. So this go to flight will actually gonna take us on the same page, right? If you remember the page object architecture, if any page is returning, the next page is taking you to the next page, should actually return the page object of that page, right? So similarly, in case of page factories, if any method is taking you to the next page, should actually return you the page factory elements of that page. So here, if I am going to flight, I am actually navigating on the same page. So over here, I can just say return this. So this will actually gonna return me an object of home page itself, home page. Right. So what happens when I go to flight? I can simply say home dot go to flight dot book a flight. Right. And here I can give the values. Uh, let's say the value what we get from we actually need to get this value from Excel sheet itself, right? But let's say I'm booking a flight from Delhi, so I can copy this stuff and paste it here, right? Then the to value is, let's say, Seattle. Copy this, paste it over here, right? Depart date, let's say 12th. I'm going to give it in the same format, so 12 12 2017, and returning will be, although we'll not be hardcoding the values over here, we'll be reading it from Excel sheet, but for the timing, let's see if I do it in this way, if it works or not. Then number of adults, I'll say 1, and number of children to be, let's say, 2 adults and 2 children. That's it. Right. I just want to make sure whatever that we have written so far for booking a flight, everything is working fine or not. So let's run this as a Java application. And let's see if it goes to the flight tab, and then let's start booking the flight or not. So at times this page takes some time to load because there are so many things loading on the page. So let's wait for a few seconds. And see, it works, right? And it should click on the search button as well. Oh, okay. Maybe there are some additional rules that apply. It didn't click on the search button, right? So let's see, have we clicked on the search button or not? We got some exception. So exception says that a known error element is not clickable at this point. Okay, so it's probably not clicking at the search option. Let's see why it is not clicking on the search option. So there could be a sync issue as well. I mean, till the time the element is not becoming clickable, it's not actually clicking on that element. Let me try to give some hard code weight over here just to make sure that the element becomes clickable in 2 seconds and then it works. Let's see if it works, then just give me a moment. If it works, then we'll try to add a better weight over here. Let's see if it is a weight issue or not.